Testing, testing, testing. One, two, three, testing. Testing, testing, testing. There you go. It works. Oh, my goodness. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Ronnie Show. So glad you be with us here today. Um, Today is Wednesday. Yes, middle of the week. I cannot wait for the weekend. And that is quite an understatement because we've just got a lot going on around here, don't we? Yeah, we'll kind of get to all that here in a minute. We'll kind of talk about what the last 24 hours has been like for me. Um, so yesterday after we did the show, I don't remember exactly what I did. I don't think I did much of anything, to be quite honest with you. Maybe worked on some things, but that was about it. And then, of course, we had the coaches show, and I ate dinner too as well. The Musketeers coach's show, so I listened to that, record it. We might actually use some sound bites instead of just me reading off stuff, reading off a sheet of a paper, but we'll have to test that out for this weekend, or during this weekend, I should say. And then you're probably wondering, Ronnie, why weren't you live for the World Baseball Classic last night? Well, actually, there's a very good reason why I wasn't, and that is because so I had gotten over to our regular studio, like I had gotten over there and got everything set up. And then when I went into my backpack to grab my laptop, I realized that I did not have my laptop. And that was completely by accident. I didn't mean to do that, obviously, but I just didn't. Luckily enough, though, because I usually like to get there about 15, well, usually actually about 20 minutes before we start broadcasting. So we were originally going to plan on going on the air at 7:05 Central Time, but the game didn't actually start till about 7:20. So then at that point, we would have been going on about a quarter after 8 Eastern Time. So, but that unfortunately did not happen. So yeah, hello, Sophia Ferguson. And that was completely my mistake. So, yeah, so because of that, well, Sunday we're going to do a special show where I will still call it the game, but it'll be on tape delay and everyone knows what happens. So, but those things happen sometimes. Hello, Samantha Wright. So yeah, but I basically spent the rest of last night, obviously watching that. And then, obviously we had the first four for March Madness going on, which I do have an update on that, which we'll get to here shortly. Because obviously, as you know, every year we do a bracket, obviously, because why not? Both men's and women's. I don't think I've done my women's one yet. And we only started doing the women's one last year. So there you go. So we'll showcase them both tomorrow morning. I'll kind of talk about that more here in a little while. But yeah, so my initial plan was that we were going to do a separate stream to do, well, maybe not necessarily a separate stream, but like a separate video as to like, showcasing all my predictions and things like that. And then that was going to follow up with the Ronnie Show. Like we would take like a 5-minute break so I can set up the new stream and things like that. But instead, what we're going to do is that I originally was going to plan on doing this live at 11 a.m. Eastern Time tomorrow, doing both brackets and things like that. But I think I might actually make that into a regular video instead, like pre-tape it later on tonight or something like that, and then release it Thursday. I don't know. I really genuinely have no idea, but it'll get out Thursday before all the games start tomorrow afternoon. So, yeah, so probably, I don't know. If we do pre-film it, it probably won't release at 11 a.m. It'll release kind of like leading up to tip-off of the first game at 12:15 p.m. So it depends. It just depends. So yeah, and then kind of going on to today, did my usual Wednesday class routine type of things. So yeah, nothing too special there. Kind of same crap, different day. As most of you know, that's kind of the way I roll around here. So yeah, and then last night I also did some studying because, as you know, I have a midterm tomorrow. Although I think I'll do okay on it. I don't think I'll fail it, but I don't think I'll get like a perfect score. I think if I can get at least above like an 80, I'll be happy with it. So, yeah. So that's tomorrow morning. And then let's see. I wasn't even going to talk about what's coming up the rest of the week because as most of you know, this is the last episode of the week because we've got March Madness coverage tomorrow and Friday afternoon. So tomorrow we'll have Siena and Duke, and then at the same time, I get the matchups all mixed up. I believe it's McNeese and Vanderbilt, so we'll be doing both of those at the same time. In fact, here, let me pull up the schedule. Yes. Yeah, so Siena and Duke, McNeese and Vanderbilt, and then Friday we'll have Tennessee State and Iowa State versus Tennessee and Iowa State, and then Hofstra and Alabama. So 2:50 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow and Friday we'll be on the air for those games. Although they might start a little early, well, maybe not start a little earlier necessarily, but probably start later. So probably 3 o'clock ish Eastern Time, if I had to assume, because I think it's 35 minutes in between each game. So, at least in both sessions, afternoon and evening. So yeah, because there's usually a little bit of a break between the afternoon and the evening for whatever people want to do. So, yeah, and then Saturday, I'm not entirely sure what the schedule is going to be for March Madness. We'll at least be on the air for sure 6:45 Eastern Time on Saturday night because we have Sioux City and Sioux Falls. We'll recap the first game that takes place Friday night, and then we'll do the second game Saturday night. So yeah, it just depends on that one, to be quite honest with you. I think if they keep the schedule for Saturdays, like they have in the past, then I think we'll keep to that 6:45 Eastern Time, but then we'll do the 7 and 7:45 Eastern Time game at the same time, which means we would be off the air by just after 10 o'clock Eastern. Um, so a little early than we would most nights we do stuff. We do sports broadcasts, so Fridays and Saturday nights, it's usually past 11 o'clock Eastern Time, but it would probably be just after 10 by the time we went off the air Saturday night. So, yeah, I get an extra hour. Woohoo. And then I wasn't going to plan on doing anything Sunday, but then last night happened. So, but that's okay. That's what I get for being clumsy. So, what can I do? What can I do? So that's what's coming up for the weekend. And then starting next week for the Ronnie show, instead of doing these shows at 4:30 Eastern Time, we're gonna move it back half an hour to 4 o'clock Eastern Time because this Saturday, just when I thought I was out of work for quite a while, it starts right back up for me because obviously, as you know, I'm part of the film crew for my college's football team. So that's spring ball starts up Saturday. So, and then it'll be Tuesdays and Thursdays, late afternoon, early evening. So we'll push it up to 4 o'clock Eastern Time, and then it'll probably be just after 4, like 4:05, more than likely. So yeah, and then that'll be the schedule for like a month, and then we'll go back to 4:30 Eastern Time. I don't like to really necessarily change the times a whole lot. So you know what? It might actually remain at 4 o'clock Eastern Time, at least until the summer, because then once the summer comes, it's going to get crazy. So that's all I'm going to say. We'll do like a spring summer preview update type of thing. So yeah, do you remember me, Diva? I don't recognize your username, so I don't really recognize you. So yeah, that'll be that. Although next week it's at least Monday and Wednesday, it's going to be interesting because as most of you know, and it'll also work out like this too, I have a class Monday and Wednesday that goes from 2 to 2:50. Then this is my time. We're talking about Central Time at this point. And that would only leave me about 15 minutes actually between show time and when my class ends. So, I mean, luckily enough, next week is the final week of it, actually. So that'll be exciting. I changed your username. Okay. That makes sense. Still don't really recognize your profile picture, though. So sorry about that. Bye, diva. Okay. I'm not a diva, but, well, sometimes I act like I am, but I'm not. um, so yeah, that'll be nice. In fact, once that class ends, I'll have an extra hour to do stuff. And it'll also work well too, because well, for that reason too. Spring football, because I work for that. So that'll help me in that regard too. So yeah, that'll be exciting stuff. It kind of makes up for some of the time I'm losing, because, each practice is basically 2 hours long. So it gives me kind of an extra hour so now I'm only really losing like an hour instead of, and that's only one day. Oh, wait, no, it wouldn't affect it actually, because it's just on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And I have this class Monday and Wednesdays. So it won't actually affect anything. So boom, forget it. And then in the summer, well, I guess I'll just kind of say that now. I wasn't planning on talking about this, but might as well now. Summer, this show might get pushed back to the evening. Or it'll be early. Well, here's kind of a couple of scenarios that could potentially happen with this show during the summer, because I do want to keep this up, this 15-minute a day type of thing. What could possibly happen is that we're on really early in the morning, like during the Today Show type of stuff. So like 7 a.m., 8 a.m. Eastern time. We're going to hide that. And then either that, or because I plan on getting some sort of job during the summer. So it would depend on the hours for that too as well, which I hope is kind of like a 9 to 5 type of thing. Which in that case, I would maybe go live for like during my lunch break or something like that, and we would be out in my car. Or what could happen is that it could get pushed to prime time. So yeah, like I said earlier, I kind of want to keep like a consistent schedule. So if we're like going to switch times or whatever, I want it to be that same time every single day instead of different times, kind of like what we do with Gigantic, the series, when we're on Fridays and Saturdays, Sundays, whatever, we're at different times. But that's just because the sporting events we cover all take place on different times. So, but at least with this show, I want to keep it at like a specific time every single day, because it'll just be easier for me in my schedule. So yeah, it'll really all depend. In fact, we might need to go on a bit of a hiatus for maybe like a week and a half or 2 weeks, so that we can kind of figure out all the possibilities with that. And obviously if that happens, I will let you know. But yeah, well, that'll be something to figure out. But that we still got 2 months plus before that happens, so I wouldn't worry about it right now. At least those of you who watch this channel quite frequently, I wouldn't worry about it right now, at least. So, let's see. I think that'll do it here this afternoon. We're coming up on 15 minutes, so yeah, so like I said, this will be the final episode for the week. It's just kind of amazing. We have not had many episodes here in March. But we'll get back to, basically a full week next week. So yeah, and it'll be at the earlier time of 4 o'clock Eastern. So make sure you join us for that. Might be hard Monday and Wednesday just because it's just a short period of time from when my class ends in terms of when I come on the air. So it might honestly be 4:05 instead of 4 o'clock. Whatever. So yeah, but check out all the great programming we have this weekend. It's all in the community tab if you want to look at that too. Because what we do here, I mean, I love doing what we do here. So yeah, and I'm hoping to do it for future careers, all of you know. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and we will see you all tomorrow for March Madness, 2:50 Eastern time. Oh, and the bracket videos too, tomorrow morning before then. So we'll see you then. Bye-bye.